Hello, happy Sunday, happy new moon, and what in the daylight savings time is going on? It is 5:48 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know. I want my hour back. If you are somewhere in the world that still, for some reason, observes this tradition of leaping ahead, springing forward an hour, we've just experienced it. I know we have some states and many countries in the world that don't do all that mess, but we're here. And other than the fact that there's still a great amount of daylight, which is much appreciated from me, I am so disoriented because, what is daylight savings with a Pisces new moon in the sun in Pisces, foggy and feeling very slow moving and sluggish, even though I am getting like this nudge that I ought to be doing something. There's things to create, there's things to do, but nonetheless, being in flow. That's really the theme, is flowing in this energy, these Piscean waters that we're in. So joining me here, we are going to dive into our collective energies for the coming week. This is something I do every Sunday on my Empowerment Sharecast on the free Marco Polo app. So if you're seeing this there, you know what we do. If you are seeing this in one of my social media spaces, this is just a preview of what I do over there in that place that's just tucked away from the noise of social media, enables me to connect with you a bit more authentically. And in fact, along with these collective messages we'll be bringing forward, I can also offer you a free personal card pull. So if you would like one and want to check it out, feel free to comment here in the comments or reach out to me in any way that works for you. If you're on Marco Polo, you can quick reply or reach out, and I will be pulling cards for the week ahead starting tomorrow, Monday. So we're going to dive in here with our beautiful Tarot of the Cosmic Seed deck that we are working with throughout the month of March. And we're going to add in this amazing deck I love to use in Pisces season. I love to use it in the summer. It's Whispers of the Ocean by Angela Hartfield. And really enjoy the beautiful messages and the striking colors and even just the nature tidbits that come with this deck. So we're going to pull one of these as a bonus message, sort of in light of this Pisces new moon happening here and now this day. And once again, if you did see on Marco Polo, I do have an exclusive offer for anyone who would like to take advantage of the new moon reading in Pisces that I have done. For this lunation, I do have a special available, and you can receive that 49-minute and 49-second reading right away. We have a nice 5-card spread and some bonus cards we tapped into. We get into the astrological aspects. I share with you a ritual that you can do with this new moon energy that for the next coming days. And then with that, you get a personal card pull just for you. We're going to use this deck as well as the other featured tarot deck that I used for that reading. So if you're interested, again, please reach out. If you're here on Marco Polo, you can go back a couple of polos and you'll see the link to that very special offer. So without further ado, let's get into it. I am going to just bring in the water elemental. So here we have water element flow coming in here, the beautiful healing energy sprays from Angelic Celestial Colors, helping us to really bring in an energy and frequency of flow, fluidity. And when I get into the astrological aspects and the energetic weather for this week, I'll talk a little bit about this new moon and how we can continue to flow into the energies coming forward this week. So let's go ahead and shuffle up here this gorgeous, gorgeous deck. I have both versions of this deck as well as the accompanying Oracle deck. So I've been teasing these and showing them over on Marco Polo. So once again, if you want to join us there, you will see the link either in the caption in my bio or just comment below and reach out. Okay, let's see what's coming up here for our Monday through Friday spread. We start with the first card to represent just setting the tone for the week ahead, kicking it off. So we'll get that card out here first. Oof, yeah, I hear you. 10 of Swords. I mean, I know I'm going to drag this week. I don't know about you, But, this time change just really impacts me, and the kids, of course, and it just kind of throws everything off. I have clocks that just became correct because they never got set the last time change. So there's some confusion, So I'm not surprised at all, the feeling of burnout and just being stick a fork in me, I'm done. So we'll feel into that energy coming in here, not to mention just being on the other side of this very watery time that we're not through. We are in the heart here of Pisces season. We still have a little ways to go, about 9 more days before equinox and the arrival of the new astrological year with Aries season. So we're definitely feeling those effects. So we'll feel into that Monday card. Tuesday represents a potential block or challenge this week. So let's see what's coming forward there. Potential block or challenge. 9 of Wands. I can tell you, I know I pulled the new moon cards for the Empowerment Pack spread on Marco Polo just to share with everyone a preview of what came forward. 2s and 9s were very prevalent, including this one, which in the deck that I used is called Rest and Reconsideration. Here again is that pause, is that reflection, and that message to persevere. 9s are almost to completion, almost to fruition. So we've got a lot of endings and new beginnings coming in here with this 10 and 9 so far for this week. So yeah, we'll talk about how that may present itself as a block or challenge this week. Wednesday, midweek blessing. What's coming in here is a midweek blessing. Midweek blessing for us. Oh my gosh, nothing could be better than the sun. How amazing is that? And, this is card 19 and 1 + 9 is 10. So again, we come into this energy of wholeness, completion, coming full circle, cycles ending, new beginnings. This new moon here and now today representing this new cycle that we're entering into. And yes, if I were to find the blessing in it all, it is the fact that the sun is still shining, if not just visible, as we've had some cloudiness and rain coming in and out here where I am, but many ways in which we can really rally around the notion of the blessing in the sun and the energy, the frequency of joy that it offers us. And you can see back there that when I brought in the energies for this month, for March, when I channeled the words that you see back here and the healing energy sprays that I intuitively selected to support us throughout the month, the yellow ray is featured through Fear Fighter, Lemon Joy energy, and none other than Bob Marley's One Love energy, which is also from the Joy energy template. So we have this frequency of yellow from the sun and this sense of joy. So really feeling that come in here in the midweek and in the mid-month, as we approach that too. So now let's see what is coming in here for us for Thursday, which is how are we growing? How are we growing this week? One card there for Thursday. 2 of Cups. So there's that energy of 2 again, which is the duality, the choice, and this aspect of 2 blending and coming together, and very watery indeed, because the cup suit is the element of water and flow. So that is bringing in the growth in our partnerships, our relationships, and the experiences potentially for great healing and alchemizing in those areas. So we'll dip into that. And then finally, Friday wraps up the week. So we'll get a final card there. A couple just dropped out, so we'll put those back. 1 card for Friday, please. Back again. So you may recall that this was our Thursday card last week. So she's moved down to Friday to wrap it all up. I loved this card. This card came through so much in so many ways. It actually came up again when I collaborated with my soul sis Mila for our stars and cards, and we tapped into this new moon's energy. We also pulled this card. So there's a lot coming through here with tribe and connection and celebration. And again, each of our unique gifts and cups of tea that we bring to the table. and so much more. So I love that we have the consistency of that continuing to come through, and we'll feel into the astrological weather that's coming through this week to see if, we can piece together a little bit of the energy strands that are coming in here that are speaking to us through these beautiful cards. Let's go ahead and pull our bonus oracle message from the Whispers of the Ocean. Really in mind is moving through this new moon and the spirit of flow and fluidity and allowing. And yes, even if it is foggy, even if it's murky, if we're feeling a bit, I often say it's like walking through jello, this feeling of like I'm trying to move, but I feel sort of moving in slow motion, or gliding and flowing, however you're experiencing it, getting some guidance here in that energy with a message from Whispers of the Ocean. Let's see what's coming forward there. These are much bigger to shuffle. Okay, one card. Oh, I got a winker there, but I'm just going to shuffle around one more time. There we go. Ooh, 50, childlike devotion. You are a multi-talented, complex being. Embrace and love who you are. I love it. So we will dive into that one as well when we get into our messages coming right up next. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to bringing in some of the energetic weather for this week, talk a little bit about this new moon, and then we'll roll into our messages. So once again, if you're already over on Marco Polo, if you would like a free personal card pull for you, reach out and let me know. If you're seeing this elsewhere, think about checking it out. It's free, it's fun, and a lot coming up this month yet with all of the exciting changes, the new astrological year, equinox, the eclipse, all the things. All right, guys, wishing you a beautiful rest of the weekend and a week ahead. We're going to dive in now to these cards. All right, let's start things off with a little dip into the energetic weather coming in this week. I'm just going to touch on a couple of aspects, starting with today, March 10th, the new moon in Pisces. So this Pisces new moon is bringing in this dreamy, fluid energy, right? It is a beautiful energy coming in here that's really allowing for us to create, to potentially deepen our spiritual practices or to work in the etheric realms. There's a supportive energy that's around this new moon for our creative work and our ability to manifest. So you may very well have already been feeling these things if you are feeling that creative bug or, like I said, a little spark or nudge to do something, to create, to take some steps in the direction of taking some action to support your dreams, because Pisces also brings in this dreamy, imaginative energy. It's deep. And again, there's a lot of fluidity and flow, but also the potential for that fogginess or murkiness as well. So this is where it is ideal for us to be gentle with ourselves in the way that we could be feeling that push-pull. I was saying this in the Empowerment Pack reading for this moon, we're hearing this wait, create, on one hand, this is still a very reflective time where we're sort of gathering and clearing and, pivoting then to taking action, coming in very soon with a lot of these new beginnings that are taking off with some of the aspects I mentioned with equinox and certainly with the eclipses coming in. But at this point, you may still be in this flow state of just sort of readying, right? We pulled a seahorse card and it became a thing in the reading when we went deeper about holding your seahorses, right? So not quite yet. So you could be feeling anything along that line at this point in this new moon. And so, you can use this new moon to set intentions and to visualize what it is you wish to call in. In fact, this is one of the most powerful lunations of the year for visualization work. And this is where, the guidance is close your eyes and imagine your dream scenario, seeing yourself in the job you want, the life you want, allowing your genuine feelings to flow as you do that. right? Really envisioning what you want your days to look and feel like, that this is an opportune time to be doing this. So it really is a positive energy to really step out of the mind and into your body and feel your way through the energies. So once again, if you want deeper support, I do have an amazing offer for you with the Empowerment Pack reading. Like I said, it's 50 minutes all ready to go with the part 1, and then part 2 would be just for you, where we take a look at your specific wishes, intentions, and seeds that you want to plant and pull some cards around how you can work with that in these coming days. So if you would like to get in on that, it's still available. I'll drop the link here once again so that you can get in touch if you would like to receive that. So right alongside of that March 10th new moon in Pisces, March 11th, we kick off the week with Venus in Pisces. So Venus moves now into watery Pisces, which is making us feel more romantic and in touch with our inner feelings. There's that 2 of Cups that we got for this week. So this is a good time to explore our relationships with love, how we choose to give and receive love in our lives. And, just in general, this is really this seed point of what we will continue to see unfold, where our relationships with others may very well be on our minds, things bubbling up around our relationships. And these can definitely be past relationships that we're reflecting on, present relationships, or just our relationships with things, aspects of ourself or our beliefs, or our relationship with food or movement, or anything that is showing this dynamic where we may actually find ourselves feeling softer and more compassionate towards those people, places, and things. So don't forget to turn that inwards to yourself as well. So this is an energy that's coming in here this week as well. So everything else I have noted starts in the weekend next week. So we'll delve into that with our following card pull next Sunday. We'll talk about March 17th, which of course is going to bring in St. Patrick's Day and the energies of some other aspects coming in. So we will talk about that next week. But let's roll in here first to our Whispers of the Ocean card to really feel into this Piscean energy before we kick off our 5-card spread. Let's dive in here to this beautiful card from the Whispers of the Ocean Oracle deck to really dip into this Pisces new moon, which is a super moon also. So just to add to the messages that I just shared for our energetic weather this week, super moons are extra potent because it's when the moon is closest to the earth. So everything is amplified where we're really feeling that energy. And so even though the new moon is dark, we can't see the light, the moon is actually positioned very close to the earth. So it's definitely amplified. And some interesting things I'm kind of piecing together here. So I mentioned that this was card 50. Turns out that it's the very last card of this deck. So once again, I'm feeling this nearing completion and endings coming full circle. And then of course on the other side being new beginnings. So there's really this culmination energy coming in here. And so this card is highlighting childlike devotion. You are a multi-talented, complex being. Embrace and love who you are. So right away, I already feel this as I was talking in the energetic weather report about the Venus in Pisces happening here this week, really potentially highlighting our relationships being on our minds. And so I mentioned that can include your relationship with aspects of yourself or you in the center of a dynamic. And so I feel that this is a message sort of building off of that as we dive in here. So let's take a look. Love includes both acceptance and respect. Love is the essence of the situation at hand. Making a shift into greater love of self will bring you more love from others. The truth is that you will receive more love when you are able to accept the love that is given to you. The love coming into your life may or may not be romantic love. Look for ways in which you can begin to connect with others. Allow your emotions to become evident. Be open to living more from your heart and experiencing your dreams. Consider the joy you felt as a young child around holidays or special occasions. Recall how you knew what you longed for. Of course, your aspirations have changed, but you can insistently pursue your ideals just as you did as a child. Simple joys and love are meant to be shared. The balance of giving and receiving will support the love you have in your being. And so now we'll talk about nature speaks through this beautiful sea creature. It is the Christmas wrasse. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. W-R-A-S-S-E. Is a colorful member of reef and sand flat communities. They are named for Christmas because of their bright red and green coloring. They are active during the day, but a Christmas wrasse sighting is rare and special. Similarly, love can at times seem elusive. Begin realizing that there really is more to life by loving yourself. Allow yourself to be the amazing, beautiful being that you are. You are loved and loving. So that is a beautiful card, and I feel like that's also touching on, there's lots of little spiritual breadcrumbs all around here because if you did catch the Stars and Cards episode that I shared here in the Sharecast with myself and Moonlight Soul, we pulled a card around inner child and highlighting that as well. So this is bringing me back into this inner child, childlike, connecting with that aspect of yourself and being able to tap into that vibration, right? So when we're talking about bringing in the joy and love and compassion, there's this aspect of being able to flow into a state where we have experienced that feeling of joy, even through simple pleasures or in the idea of through the eyes of a child. So if not through our own childhood, perhaps our children or children that are in our life, or being able to tap into that vibration. And just that's the simplicity of the steps that we can take. And I like how it's talking about this elusive nature of this fish, because we are kind of dipping in and out of ebbing and flowing through various degrees of feels. Every moment may not be joyful, but I can connect into a moment of joy, or I can manifest around me joy, even when the experience could be something very different. So let's go ahead and see where that takes us now as we dive into the spread for our week. All right, we are kicking off our week here with the 5-card spread, starting with Monday, which is sort of setting the tone for the week, okay? So what did we have last week? We had the Tower on here, and we kind of had some moments throughout the week where we felt into how the Tower showed up, even in the most practical ways, as we kind of reflected on the fact that the day that the Tower card had shown up, Facebook and Instagram literally came down, so, once again, I always say these cards are nothing to fear, right? We're tapping into the signs and symbols of the tarot to help us to connect with our own intuition and, using these universal symbols to say, oh, okay, there's a scorpion, all right? So the sting, the idea of this energy of something that we feel, certainly the sharpness or the prick of, like a sword, like a scorpion, something that sticks, right? So we feel that stickiness. And so, like I said, we've got a lot of layers of factors that are playing a role here between the new moon feels, Pisces season feels, the idea that, I know it's not for everybody, but those of us that are moving through a time change is quite significant in terms of energy levels and just kind of feeling off in general. So, yes, this is a card that can signify burnout, or some sense of, exhaustion, down and out. Stick a fork in me, I'm done. That was what I heard when I pulled the card the first time. So, there is that aspect. The fact that it is a 10 does speak to an ending, something final, something that we are coming through into completion. And yes, through an ending, there is a sense of loss. There is a sense of the death of something, right? A process that is being moved through, endings coming in, finalities. So in some cases, yes, it could be the ending of something, or, something that is a loss. again, giving you a very practical reason as I sit here thinking about my own week. And I shared last month, if you were with me in the February Sharecast, and even January, as we've been moving through some health concerns with my youngest daughter, and we're on a good plan now, and we've been working on things to try and help with a series of situations and circumstances that we're moving through with her. Which does involve a repeat of lab work. So swords can also speak to literally being pricked, sticked, stuck, if you will. It can sometimes speak to surgeries or technical, physical procedures on the body, dental work, all those types of things. So I know that we have a lab appointment for her on Tuesday, that she'll be having some lab work done. So, this is where I'm saying that these signs and symbols and things that can speak to these different aspects that we can connect in with. So that's another way to view swords, specifically this 10 of Swords coming in here. So, endings from which perhaps there's quite a bit of finality, there's no going back, because there is a fresh new beginning coming in. And so again, there's that push-pull and great equalizing between, yes, something ends and that can be bittersweet, or we could be moving through degrees of feels because of that ending, but we're also mounting up to a new beginning. So it's sort of finding that place where we can learn from those transitionary states when we're moving from one to the other, or in reflecting back on the thing that sort of brought us down to our knees, or has us feeling very exhausted or depleted, or in some way, in need of a refresh or recharge. Opportunities to heal and move on. So let's go ahead and see how that goes with our upcoming card for the Tuesday potential block or challenge. Now, Tuesday, representing a potential block or challenge this week, we have the 9 of Wands coming in here. And I mentioned that if you saw the card pulls I did for the new moon and the spread that I did, which again was this one here, the new moon in Pisces, and the 5 positions that we were tapping into for that empowerment pack reading, the 3rd position, what message does my intuition want me to hear, was in fact this card from the Psychic Tarot of the Heart. So we've got 9, rest and reconsider. So that is the energy that this card holds as a potential block or challenge, because this, another way of looking at it, and you can see why, being such a card nerd as I am, I just love 2 completely different creators, absolutely different decks, and yet the beautiful symbolism that you could glean from each of these cards. Again, tapping into your wisdom, your inner knowing, and looking here, and I can tell you that the wands are the fire element, and that they tap into, our sparks and our intuitive ideas and creativity and our work in the world and how it expresses itself and what we are building, what we are creating. So if we're in a state of rest, or if we're coming through a degree of burnout, as that 10 of Swords suggested, or just feeling maybe extra lethargic, or in some way, like I said, walking through jello, in many ways, I think it's just this push-pull of there's an energy of bringing in, on one hand, we have a Saturnian influence from Saturn, which is like really showing us this sort of rigid, rule-based, getting things done, and yet we have this Piscean energy that's so fluid and flow, and sometimes getting caught up in our dreams, or our daydreaming, our imagination, or just needing a time out, or having trouble focusing. That's another one, focus. And so that could be challenged for people this week, sort of your mind wandering, or just your thoughts going elsewhere, or, feeling that push-pull of having work to do, or somewhere that you feel you should be persevering on to, as I mentioned, that 9 carrying that vibration of perseverance, and yet, right? So again, if I'm feeling my way, and if I'm aligned with how it's feeling in my body, and my body says slow, my body says pause, my body says I need a rest, then I'm going to be in flow with that, and I'm going to allow for that, because I can see the path will continue, and when I am refreshed and restored, I will persevere. So again, being gentle with yourself, and so that can be a challenge or a block if we have a finite pool of energy from which we're pulling. And there's a lot of wands that we want to create with, or we have a lot of wands to tend to, which is a lot of work. It's a lot of different responsibilities. In the Northern Hemisphere, we're gearing up for spring. I know in the Southern Hemisphere, autumn. And in both cases, and I know here for the spring, schedules tend to really start to fill up in the spring, whether it's invitations and events and celebrations, graduations, and then we have a lot of things with sports. So again, if you have children or you are in and around like school type things where there's changes in schedules and semesters and things where it really fires up. And I take a look at my calendar and how it's filling in, and I can feel a bit overwhelmed and feeling like I need a breather. I don't know if I have the gas in the tank. So again, these are the practical ways that these cards can show up in any given week in this moment as we come together collectively. But yes, it speaks to a wider feeling and a bigger collective message of being invited to pay attention to your body, to those signs and signals that we get that say, I need rest. I need to gather myself and really get ready to get back out there, but I'm not ready yet, and that's okay. So we'll see how that unfolds, but I do see a number of ways that could be presenting itself this week. Let's get into that. Mr. Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, he's winking at us there in the middle as our one and only major arcana card this week. Let's take a look. All right, Wednesday brings us into a midweek blessing, and we have one of, if not the most positive cards of the tarot, the Sun. This is a beautiful energy coming forward here. Masculine, fire, action, yang energy, the Sun. So, coming through all this watery, feminine energy with the moon and the season, we also have the sun coming in here as a blessing. We've had a lot of rain around here, so I'm feeling like the sun coming out and drying up the rain, creating an opportunity to sort of reset and bring in some fresh energy with, again, the frequency of joy. Yellow, bringing in that joy vibration. And so the sun, is one card that speaks to all of this energy of joy, alignment, vitality, growth. It's a beautiful energy that really represents success and abundance. And I'm hearing so many songs in my head right now. Like, I don't even know which shameless, music reference to make first. I mean, obviously I'm making them. You just may not have recognized with the sun coming out and drying up the rain and the itsy bitsy spider goes up the spout again. But I'm seeing, like, I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I'm just feeling like all this energy of like, I can see all obstacles in my way, right? It's like, it's bright sunny day that's coming out. Like there's this difficult times are behind you or will soon be. So it can refer to, personality too, your sun sign. In astrology, when we talk about, you're a Leo sun or, whatever sign you are, that is how you shine out into the world, your personality. So, this sun can represent your personality and that people are being drawn to your light. This is a time for you to really set forth with confident expectation that all is in alignment and conspiring for your highest good. That's beautiful because, yes, everything that's unfolding right now, even the scorpion stings and all of the things that are coming along that can feel a little heavier and more dense, are all unfolding for me to create the optimal conditions for me to continue to express myself in a way that's ever evolving towards the highest and best expression of me. So this is a sign to move forward on perhaps a project or a plan or something that you've been wishing to create. Taking that moment to bask in the light and the glory of the moment, so when we're coming from a state of feeling clouded or unsure, this is the card that tells us to get in touch with our inner child as well. So, knowing that we have this childlike devotion, and it kind of reminds me, this is how the sun has been here, like this fish popping in and out from behind the clouds. It hasn't been overtly sunny here, which is something that I am a Leo sun, and I desperately need and don't realize how much I miss it until it peaks back out again and I feel that warmth. That's just something that really lights me up. What is that thing for you? What is your joy factor? What's the thing that really helps to brighten and lighten your mood, your day, the moment? Filling your time with as much of those things as you possibly can. We can't make the sunshine, right? But can we be our own sunshine? Is there a way that we can harness that energy? And yes, in some cases, using something like I mentioned, the Joy lemon spray, which to me is like sunshine in a bottle. So whether you do work with, aromatherapy, essential oils or sprays or crystals, or if it's music for you that helps to raise your vibration, light, if it's creating, having that spiritual practice that works for you, aligning yourself more and more with those things. Because as I was sharing in some sessions this week, every moment that we spend in that vibration of joy is helping to raise our frequency and is helping to continue to bring us closer and closer to that state of being more often than not, right? The clouds will come, the weather will shift. It is a matter of this physical existence, right? So it is a part of things that also is a gift, because we need to experience the opposite in order to appreciate this beautiful energy. So really feeling that as a blessing this week for us to really endeavor towards bringing more sunshine into your life, whatever that means for you. So let's take a look now at the Thursday energy for how we are growing. All right, moving right along to Thursday, which represents for us how we are growing this week. And so we bring in this beautiful balance of the Two of Cups. So the cup suit, again, is the water element and brings us into this vibration of emotions, feels, flow, heart chakra, and we see the two because it's bringing in that balance. So two becoming one. So there's this energy too of alchemizing and coming into flow. And I love how we see the moon phases here connecting from drip to drop, these two cups that are facing each other and moving through all these phases and stages. It's actually feeling like it's speaking to me of coming full circle through, like from Pisces new moon, even all the way to the Pisces full moon later this year, to really feel this time period that we're moving through now as far as what we are creating and what we are bringing into our relationships. So, Two of Cups can speak to, and again, knowing that we have a little underline of that energy here with the Friday card repeating itself from last week, friendship, unity, lovers. This is about strong connection between two people or two aspects or something of two. So again, we're hearing this word alignment. That word was also used in the sun. We have this energy of aligning and this energy of balance and appreciation. And it can also be a deepening of self-love. So this is what I was saying about relationships being highlighted here, that there's a sense of our relationship with aspects of ourself, our higher self and our personality, our 3D self, our ego self, our inner child, these different dual aspects of us that come face to face and each have something to contribute. There's this bringing together of the two things in the cup. So there's, the experiences that we bring forward, perhaps from past relationships and experiences that we've had, that come and blend in here with a healed aspect of us, or something of ours that is coming forward to be healed. So there's, potentially a very deep message in here that we could be growing into, all while potentially highlighting for some people a relationship with a friend or romantic interest, or something where there's partnerships as well. So this can be businesses, business partnerships, connections that are being made that are generally mutually beneficial. There's a reciprocity here of giving and receiving. And once again, just off to the side, another card that came forward in our spread for the new moon in Pisces. This was position 1. What is the energy of this new moon? So yes, it's bringing in this sense of giving and receiving and reciprocity and the flow and the phases and stages of which being in certain states of absolute flow and other times where there's a complete blockage, right? There's a complete breakdown of flow and everything in between. So as we move through all of these states, this is where the healing comes. This is where the greater awarenesses come. And the greatest growth happens in our relationships. This is where our soul plays in this earth school, is through the relationships with other people and things that reflect back to us opportunities for us to learn, grow, heal, and expand. So really feeling that energy here as a source of growth, and also actually as I look at this, it's so beautiful. You can kind of see this is almost like a shoreline, like the tide breaking right here along the shores. And also just the fact that faint line runs right across here between the two, reminding me again of ebbing and flowing, of tides coming in high and going out low, and all the things that come up from that process that it drudges up from the depths that it leaves behind to be seen. And this is where, some of these relationships could be coming into our awareness to serve us up some little nuggets, some little treasures, some little things that have come up onto our shores, our Piscean shores here in Pisces season and on the other side of this new moon, that is going to create opportunity for some real growth and healing and partnership and alignments. And, like I said here with that 10 of Swords and such potentially being endings, relationships and partnerships and things that have ended, that have served their time and served their purpose, that we now might be able to just extract from those things the jewels, the goodies, and now roll forward, And so that's where I'm feeling a potential here for the 2 to be coming in this week for some blending and alchemization. Let's wrap it up with our Friday card, which is repeating back from last week. Let's take a look. All right, Friday, wrapping it all up for us for the week. We have the frequent flyer, the 3 of Cups here. So yes, this was Thursday's card last week for how we're growing. And it actually really stuck with us all week long. Like I mentioned, it came up again later in the week in one of my collaborations. And, here we are again with it, bringing in this sense of friendship, support, happiness, connection with tribe, with sisterhood, support systems, and really just leaning into our relationships and celebrating each other. Maybe even meeting new friends. And I think that's really amplified by this 2 of Cups. So potential partnerships, potential agreements, potential opportunities for, gathering and connecting with others in a way that could be very lucrative as well. So all of that comes forward, and it's very abundant energy. There's like cause for celebration in our communities. There's joy. And, really looking at these connections that we make. And I just love, and I talked about quite a bit, these cups of tea on their heads being, everybody like having their own cups of tea and really having unique gifts. And again, here, this is what this represents to me. They're all different colored jewels. Each person comes to the table with something unique to offer. This is a vibration and a frequency that we're seeing come up again and again, no matter what deck, no matter what day. We're tapping into this energy of giving and receiving and, coming to the table and sharing too. So there really is, this type of energy coming forward, and it's quite healing. It's an opportunity for making amends even, with relationships that come up for healing. And, like I said, some of these things are coming up from the past and perhaps in situations and circumstances that were not necessarily meeting with or gathering at the table with those specific individuals or the circumstances from those past issues, but the vibration of those issues coming up in new, different relationships, that we're having a new opportunity, knowing what it is we know now, having had the experiences we've had that have helped us to grow and expand spiritually, and in our capacity to hold love and compassion and forgiveness. These are all things that could be coming up in connecting with these relationships. So, I'm feeling into this card beyond what, we did bring through last week on it as well. And if you had to think about, how did your Three of Cups play out for you last week, kind of factor that into how that has you looking at it this week and how that might show up for you now, and really connecting in with mutual beneficial relationships and circumstances with others that really carry this vibrational match, where we just feel at home in the company of, or able to be our most authentic selves, or walking away always having learned something from what is different. All of those frequencies are showing up for me when I look at this card. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out as we move through this week, and some of the aspects that are at play. Once again, as we know, potentially bringing in a highlight on relationships and connection, love, and compassion. So thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, if you would like a personal card pull for this week, you can quick reply to the message here on Marco Polo, or you can reach out to me in any way that works for you, and I will be dipping in to pull those cards as we move through the week. Also, a last shout for anyone who wants to come along for the new moon special that I offered. I will drop that link here once again on the other side of this polo in case you would want to get in on that. So thank you all so much. I'm sending you much love, many blessings, and a beautiful week ahead.